Senate, there's ayes.
The Liberian Senate, the 35th day regular sitting first section of the 55th Legislature of the Republic of Liberia, Tuesday, July 16, 2024. Agenda and order of business. One, call to order. 2, devotion. 3, roll call. 5, reading and adoption of the agenda. 4, 5, unfinished business. A, report from the Joint Committee comprising Labor and Judicial and Human Rights Claims and Petitions on an I to amend Section 22, Scope 30, 18 and 37.1 of Chapter 22. And 37 of the Decent Work Act of 2016. Report from the Joint Committee comprising Labor, Judicial, Human Rights Claims and Petitions regarding complaints from the workers of Fire Implementations Company.
Senator presiding. Go fast,
C. Report from the Committee on Agriculture, Forestry, and Fisheries regarding complaints on wildlife invasions on farms and communities in Gola Connect District, Mont County. D. Report from the Committee on Public Corporations regarding unwarranted business practice at the National Port Authority. E. Report from the Committee on Lands, Mines, Energy, Natural Resources, and Environment regarding environmental issues that has been of grave concern over the years, offered by Senator Thomas Yaya Nimne of Grand County. Report from Standing Committee. Report from the Joint Committee comprising Public Operations and Transport regarding the revamping of seaports in the country. Report from the Joint Committee comprising Education and Public Administration on an act to create the Tapeta Statutory District Vocational Training Institute in Tapeta, Statutory District, Lower Nimba County, Republic of Liberia. Report from the Joint Committee comprising Education and Public Administration, Judicial Human Rights Claims and Petition, and Ways, Means, Finance and Budget on an act to repeal the 2012 Act creating the Harvey College and to establish in lieu thereof Margibi University and grant it a charter. D. Report from the Committee on Foreign Affairs regarding the conditions of our citizens working in foreign service at various foreign missions. E. Report from the Committee on Internal Affairs, Governance and Reconciliation on the confirmation hearing of local government officials designated of Sando County. 7. Business on President's text. A. Communication from Senator Albert Tube, Chair of Grand County, regarding the motion to reconsider a vote on Rule 19, Section 3 of the Senate Standing Rules. 8. AOB 9. Adjournment. Mr. Presiding Officer and distinguished members of the Senate, the reading of the proposed agenda for today's sitting.
Distinguished colleagues, please listen to the reading of the draft agenda for today. What's your will and pleasure?
Presiding, I move that the agenda be received and open for discussion.
It has been moved that the agenda as read be open for discussion and subsequent adoption after necessary intervention. Are you ready to vote? All in favor say yes? Again? Motion carried. Agenda open for. The job agenda open for.
Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, when the agenda was initially circulated yesterday, I requested voting to replace item D with the
Item D or what?
unfinished business. Item D on unfinished business. I indicated to all that the report had just been completed and it was to be signed today. In its stead, I requested that they put on the agenda item A, 6A, report from standing committee, because that was not on the agenda yesterday. This report has been circulated.
So you're suggesting that
6A,
D, B deferred.
this is fair, yeah, the report is signed.
Okay. And 6A stands.
Yeah, yes.
Okay, noted.
Thank you.
Any other intervention? Senator Augustine Chair, followed by Senator Martin.
President, my first intervention is about the nomination confirmation of the governor of the borough of Newtown. The second one will be with 6B, the Tabata vocational training.
The governor of Newtown was confirmed on.
Yeah, so I have an issue with that. That's why that's what I was they will be. Okay.
And you said what was the second issue?
The Tabata vocational training.
What number, what kind?
6B. 6B. Yeah.
What's the issue about it?
But they said that I would rather not discuss it. I thought it would be.
But you say you got issue with 6B on the agenda.
Yeah, because they say committee room. Say committee room.
So you wanted to defer from
Deferred.
6B.
There's supposed to be a joint committee report, right?
Right. Absolutely.
Okay, so,
That's the concern I had.
okay,
Education committee is partnering with the judiciary.
Okay.
And the judiciary still has some concern.
Right.
So let me defer that item.
thank you, Mr. Chair. I have the issue about presiding, so I can raise it.
Thank you.
Presiding?
Yes, Senator. Senator Forward.
Yeah, when the agenda was posted, there was an F to 6 with the confirmation of nominee from Riversex. I no longer see an agenda.
So this is the agenda that we adopted.
Yeah.
So this is the agenda for today. Yes, Senator. Honor.
Mr. President, for other AOB, I would like to suggest that the issue of NASCOR we raised last week for the update was not discussed last week. I would like for us to include on the agenda on AOB. And also, we work with the Judiciary Committee on the former President's Benefits Bill to avoid all of these mishaps that keep happening at the airport, including former President Weir access to the VIP and future leaders. Would like to
AOB.
yeah, it will be.
Okay.
And then finally, I said the Public Accounts Committee circulated to all senators the summary analysis of the first quarter budget execution report. I would like an opportunity for the committee to talk about that.
We'll do that on Thursday.
Okay.
Yes, Senator. Pro Tem Emeritus.
Business, 5E, the Committee on Finance and Energy has just, not submitted a report yet, we are signing the report, so I want you present Thursday.
You say 5E?
Yeah, 5E, yeah.
5E, carriage report from, okay, any day, right?
Yeah.
So you want deferment? So you guys already taking notes? Any other? Yes, I know,
Mr. President and colleagues, I'm not seeing an agenda that today the Secretary of Senate was to give us the agenda, the reporting agenda on the issue of the tax law. That it was said that it was passed. All information shows they haven't passed.
No, sir.
The agenda.
1 minute, sir. So we tell what we're doing. Mr. Secretary, you were supposed to give distribute the journal for the day the budget was passed, so that we know exactly the motion and what was passed. Are you ready to give us that, submit that agenda? Because it doesn't have to be AOB agenda.
No, President.
Where's the agenda? I mean the journal for that day.
I think before the President let's just talk to you on it.
Where's the journal? We want it on Thursday.
Okay.
It doesn't have to be on the agenda.
Okay.
We want it distributed so that we know exactly. Thursday is not part 3.
Sorry.
Please take note of that.
Another one, Mr. President and colleagues, when our citizen does well, it's good for us to say it. I think the Methodist Bishop represented our beloved country very well and protected the integrity of this country on the conference where he stated that he doesn't support same-sex marriage. I want this honorable ballot to give him the honor by inviting him.
He put it in writing.
Okay, then, no problem. Okay.
Even though you're not put on the microphone, put it in writing. Senator McGill.
President, again, let me bring back the attention last section when you report the issue of complaint regarding finance minister agenda. I want to be included on the agenda.
Which finance minister? Which
The
company?
issue regarding the borrowing.
You get a communication.
Yes, and was sent to a committee.
Okay, so you want committee?
Report.
Which committee was it referred to?
With me.
Okay, well, I will put it on AOB so that the committee can
Because
go.
every time they come here, you will
Don't debate it now, put it on AOB, then you will debate it. Please take note of that. Senator Collins, the committee on executive, we have to brief us on the communications regarding Mr. Brisbane.
Okay.
The committee on executive, if the chair is not here, the full chair should be there. I think Senator Lieutenant.
Okay.
Because that matter was referred to that committee, and we need to report, so we can have a closure to this.
No problem.
Senator Newman?
Chair, thank you. The item on A. The first item on A on the decent work report. I'm suggesting that we defer it for after the break because there was new discovery as a result of the hearing from the Fashion Workers Union. And I would like for this item to be led by judiciary because there's a clause that is not included in the Decent Work Act that the employers are using to take advantage of.
Okay, so you want deferment?
I want deferment.
So you want deferment from the agenda today?
Yeah, let judiciary take the lead so that we can look at this clause.
Okay, we'll take note of that.
And then B to that, the report today for Fashion Workers Union is in circulation currently.
So it can be discussed today.
So which one?
Which one? A and B.
A and B.
A and B. B should go for Thursday because the report is in circulation as this.
Okay. Okay. So let's be clear now. On the agenda, on report from standing committee on D, report from the committee on foreign affairs which are chair. They were deferred from the agenda today because the committee is meeting with the minister in our conference room at 3 p.m. today. So, and while we're adopting the agenda, we're listening to announce at 4 p.m. today, there will be confirmation hearing for official nominations at the Ministry of Information. If there is no other issue to clear up on the agenda, can we get a motion to adopt the agenda? So move. They have been moved and seconded that the agenda be adopted at our working group of the Treasurer is going to speak.
Business on President's desk. Communications from the President. Republic of Liberia, the President. Senator Yomli Kanga Lawrence, President pro tempore of the Liberian Senate, Capitol Building, Monrovia, Liberia. Madam President pro tempore, I am pleased to re-nominate the following, pending Senate confirmation where applicable. Margibi County. B. Louis Kine, County Development Officer. Togiet Samu Zawi, County Administrative Officer. Samuel N. Kete, Commissioner, Sintal Township. I would greatly appreciate if these are given expedited confirmation by the Senate so as to ensure smooth transition in government. Kind regards, sincerely, Joseph Newman Boaka Sr., President of the Republic of Liberia. First communication. Second communication. Senator Yomli Kanga Lawrence, President pro tempore of the Senate, in section, Capitol Building, Monrovia, Liberia. Madam President pro tempore, I am pleased to submit here with the following nominations, pending Senate confirmation where applicable, for appointment in government. Margibi County. Mr. Maria Doe, County Finance Officer, Kakata City, Margibi County. Reverend Bangawo Edith Sibo, City Mayor, Kakata City, Margibi County. Judith Z. Smith, City Mayor, Unification City, Margibi County. Martin K. Siniba, Commissioner, Lakita Township. Arthur G. Colley, Commissioner, Bola Township. Samuel Willie, Commissioner, Charlesville Township. Madam Rebecca Hill, Commissioner, Mamban District, Margibi County. William Lemu, Commissioner, Gibi Administrative District, Margibi County. I would greatly appreciate were this to be given expedited confirmation by the Senate so as to ensure smooth transition in the government. Kind regards, sincerely, Joseph Newman Boaka Sr., President of the Republic of Liberia. Mr. Presiding Officer, the reading of the communication from the President of Liberia.
The first communication is read. He said the presidency will resubmit.
Renominating.
Renominating. Distinguished colleagues, you listen to the reading of the communication from the President of Liberia, submitting nominees to various positions in local government. Magini County. What's your will and pleasure? Senator Batikwa, Grand County.
Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, having received a communication from the President nominating Liberian to positions in government, we hope that the communication will be received and turned over appropriately to the committees for their due diligence and report to this body on the completion for our position.
It has been moved and seconded that the communication from the President submitting names for local government in Magini County be received and turned over to the Committee on Internal Affairs. So proceed with the appropriate confirmation proceeding. What's your way of pleasure? Are you ready to vote?
Yes.
All in favor say yes?
Yes.
Again? Senate, please refer to matters to the committee.
Business on President's desk. Communication from Senator Albert Tubechie of Grand County regarding the motion to reconsider a vote on Rule 19, Section 3 of the Senate Standing Rules. The Liberian Senate, July 15, 2024. Senator Yomli Kanga Lawrence, President pro tempore, and members of the Senate in plenary of the Senate, Liberian Senate Capitol Building. Dear Madam President pro tempore and distinguished colleagues. Reference. Motion to reconsider a vote on Rule 19, Section 3 of the Senate Standing Rules. Approximately 3 Senate sittings ago, on behalf of 13 senators, I filed a motion to reconsider a majority vote of plenary endorsing current Rule 19, Section 3 of the Senate Standing Rule, which reads, quote, in case of removal of the President pro tempore, the Liberian Senate shall elect a successor in keeping with the following procedures, unquote. On the date of the debate and subsequent vote, the 13 senators, that is minority senators, informed plenary that Senate Rule 19, Section 3 contravenes the intent and purpose of Article 47 of the Liberian Constitution, which reads, quote, the Senate shall elect once every 6 years, a President pro tempore who shall preside in the absence of the President of the Senate, and such other officers as shall ensure the proper functioning of the Senate. The President pro tempore and other officers so elected may be removed from office for cause by resolution of a 2/3 majority members of the Senate, unquote. Distinguished colleagues, as we, the minority senators on this matter, argued previously, since the Constitution specifically states the election for a President pro tempore shall take place only one time in a 6-year cycle, the line of succession in Rule 11, Section 3 of the Senate Standing Rules should apply in a rare event the President pro tempore is removed from office. While, in our opinion, Article 47 of the Liberian Constitution is clear on this matter, other senators, however, have a different understanding of this provision of our organic law. Madam President pro tempore and distinguished colleagues, it is therefore our prayer today that the Senate seeks the opinion of the Honorable Supreme Court of Liberia, which is clothed with the authority under the Liberian Constitution, to interpret all provisions of said constitutions and whose interpretation is final and binding. We look forward to a unanimous vote or at the least 2/3 vote of the senators at today's sitting to allow the Supreme Court to determine this crucial matter, which will help sustain the tenets of our democratic and legislative processes. Very truly yours, Albert Tubachie, Senator, Grand Prix County. Mr. Presiding Officer.
Distinguished colleagues, you listen to the reading of a communication from Senator Albert Tubachie of Grand Prix County regarding the motion for reconsideration to a vote on Rule 19, Section 3 of the Senate Standing Rules. What's your will and pleasure? Senator Patikwa?
Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, having listened to communication, motion on reconsideration of Professor Albert Tubachie, Senator from Grand Group, I move that the communication be received and Senator Albert Tubachie be given a few minutes, and then the strength of his motion be tried by this body to decide the way forward by the plenary in our PSM.
It has been moved and seconded. It has been moved and seconded that the communication be received and accepted. The order of the communication be given few minutes as provision, 2 minutes, and then after which the strength of the motion be tested. Are you ready to vote?
Not ready.
Senator Bernard Garfield, County.
Thank you, Presiding.
Senator Chair from Sanofi.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, Presiding.
Distinguished colleagues, this motion has arrived late. I was here, when was I? When we discussed this matter, it was 5, today is the 5th meeting. I voted on this matter. This is the 5th meeting, and the former president knows fully well that when you announce your intent to file a motion for reconsideration, it takes 4 sittings, and today is the 5th.
So, when was the motion for reconsideration filed?
It's just filed today. It should have been filed
last.
It should have been filed
Thursday. The motion
Thursday.
for reconsideration was announced.
No, it was not the motion. It was his intent. It was his intent. And his intent does not constitute a motion filed. And that's the point. He intended to file.
When was the motion for reconsideration is a quick motion?
Correct.
Once you file a motion and the chair recognizes it, it is noted.
It is noted.
You have a time frame within which to
file.
When was that motion announced?
It was announced 4 sittings ago. 5 sittings ago. 5.
That's what
Oh, no. Okay.
No, this matter is moved because at our last sitting, the pro-tem consulted leadership, eminent leadership in plenary, and was said that there were 2 motions from the discussion of the rules that on today, that on today, there will be test for my motion. Then on Thursday, there will be a test for the other motion. So that one was decided already.
Senator, can you confirm that?
Yes, sir.
Presiding? You just say yes, sir?
That's it.
Presiding? No, we're not asking.
The plenary decided they voted.
Yeah.
They voted on it.
Yeah.
Two-thirds?
Yeah.
Two-thirds of the Senate voted for it.
Yeah.
Where?
No, I mean, the decision for that motion to come on the floor today, plenary decided.
Let the Secretary of Senate show the journal that says that.
1 minute of Senator Jabbar. We agree here.
Presiding, let it be the Methodist version.
No, let's go back clearly what happened. So, we agree, as we started off by the protest, that this motion for reconsideration will be dealt with today. And then the next one, that has to do with 2/3 on ministerial confirmation, will be done on Thursday. We all agree as plenary this whole weekend. So, presiding.
Look, the rules cannot be amended any kind
Well,
of way.
still your readiness.
My readiness is that I see on this documentation July 15th. And he's asking for us to go to the Supreme Court.
You debating what's your readiness?
I'm not ready to vote unless we can open this for discussion.
Moving.
It was open and the proponent was giving few minutes and he made a statement already.
But you said we'll try it.
No, the proponent has not said anything yet. Your motion was the letter be received, the proponent be given 2 minutes to speak, after which we will take a decision on the motion.
And try to explain.
So, Senator Phillips says he's not ready. So his unreadiness is...
Anything other than that, I reject.
Open for discussion.
So you reject that, right? Okay, any other unreadiness? With no other unreadiness, are we ready to vote on that motion?
No, yeah.
Are we ready to vote on the motion? All in favor say yes? Again? Motion carried. The proponent has 2 minutes to make a case from after which we will take a
Distinguished colleagues, this is a simple matter. The Senate is divided on the interpretation of this provision of our law, our Senate rules versus Article 47 of the Constitution. And once there's various interpretation, we cannot interpret. Okay. Only body with the authority to interpret is the Supreme Court. So my prayer this morning is for the Senate to go to the Supreme Court and seek the advice of the Supreme Court. And the issue is our rule 19, section 3, which says that in case the protem, in a rare case, the protem is removed, there will be elections for protem. Yet, our constitution says another thing, that there shall be elections for protem only once every 6 days. Once, not twice. Some senators agree, some senators don't agree.
Most senators.
Whether most senators doesn't matter. Even one senator, once there's disagreement, the branch of government that can interpret for us is the Supreme Court. Nothing else I want. I don't want to seek the opinion from the Honorable Supreme Court. That's my prayer this morning. I'm sure you will agree with me. The way you understand English is different from the way I understand English. Some people graduate from government school, some people graduate from Baptist school, some from Catholic school, some from abroad. So the English is different. Some from the PhD. So it's all different. The only body who can tell us this is our understanding is the Supreme Court. So please, let's go to the Supreme Court. That's my prayer.
So the letter was not open for discussion. The motion carried that even the unreadiness to open for discussion was rejected, and we voted ourselves. So, are we ready to?
The motion is unready. Unready.
So what what I will do as presiding, I will see this matter, I will table it, and then we'll take it to leadership and consultation with the entire Senate. All right. Thank you,
Presiding. You accept? You got your word accept.
Council for complainer object. Council for complainer object.
Unfinished business.
The council of complainer.
Report from the Committee on Agriculture, Forestry, and Fisheries regarding complaint on wildlife invasion on farms and communities in Gola Connect District, Grand Cape Mon County. Agriculture Committee.
So that will report for the committee. There will just be a mini brief. A mini brief from the Committee on Agriculture.
Presiding distinguished senators, last sitting edition came out and we were to provide a briefing, which we did. We met with the sectors, even the Chimpanzee, Wild Chimpanzee Foundation, Conservation, the Ministry of Agriculture, Forestry, and all that. In a meeting, they told us that this one week they were constituting a committee to go and engage the residents whose farms and properties destroyed by the animal. And they will come by and compile a report sent to us, and we will be able to submit it to full plenary where we are.
Okay, so when do you report to plenary?
They have not submitted, but we can make a follow-up on the plenary is waiting the outcome of the visitation. They have not submitted.
It can be indefinite. Will they not come up with it?
Mr. Chairman, I think we already asked.
Yeah, all right.
Thank you, presiding. The committee hearings on this matter consisted of EPA, Agriculture Ministry, Minister, FDA, and the NGO in charge of wildlife. And they all agree that they will constitute themselves into a committee that will be going on the 15th, which was yesterday, to go and visit the area, meet the affected communities, and come up with a solution in terms of the environmental protection, the animal protection, the interests of the livelihood of the residents of the community. And so that would have taken them maybe this week. So hopefully next week they will be coming back to us and we'll follow up on it. But we can't say definitively because they have technicians that might have to go into the forest, into the community and decide the impact and how to find a solution to this problem. So I think that's why we asked the indulgence of the plenary to please give us some time. When they return, we'll basically, the chairman and I will basically follow up on it, and so give us at least up to next Thursday.
Okay, at least there's some of the time frame added.
But they should be in that by now.
Okay. Senator of the Senate, you taking note? Okay. So the Committee on Agriculture asked Thursday,
Next week. When?
Next week Thursday.
Next week.
We should take into consideration that in keeping with the constituency break law, there will be a closure break on this week, beginning July 18th. But that will be left to the leadership. Next on the agenda.
Report from Standing Committee. Report from the Joint Committee comprising Public Operations and Transport regarding the revamping of seaports in the country.
Is the report circulated?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Chair?
Yeah, where's second?
Seconded it twice.
Yeah, so, we are on our assembly.
Oh, okay.
Let the secretary read the recommendation.
Yeah.
The overview and the recommendation.
Findings and recommendations. The committee, having spoken and heard from the major stakeholders, derived the following findings. 1. That the overlaid centralized system of governance in different sectors of our economy is counterproductive to the current decentralization drive of the country and serves as a hindrance for economic growth and development of the country. 2. That NPA operational control of the outstation ports has negatively impacted the growth and development of these ports. 3. That granting autonomy to the outstation ports will create investment opportunities for development and modernization of these ports. 4. That decentralized and autonomous port operations in the counties of Buchanan, Sino, and Maryland will provide options for port users and reduce the cost of doing business. And 5, that creating economic activities in the 3 counties through port autonomy will create jobs, lubricate economic activities, and stimulate development in these counties. Recommendation. That the Liberian Senate, in consideration of the findings mentioned supra, embarked on a legislative process to grant autonomy to the ports of Buchanan, Sano, and Maryland. 2. That in consideration of this, the Joint Committee is recommending and attaching hereto 2 draft legislations for the consideration of the Liberian Senate to include 1. An act to amend Chapter 6 of the Public Utilities Law creating the National Port Authority and to create Seaports Decentralization and Modernization Act and grant autonomy to the ports of Buchanan, Sino, and Harper. And 2. An act establishing the Seaports and Inland Ports Regulatory Authority, done in committee room and submitted this date of July 2024. Signed, members of the committee. Mr. Presiding Officer, distinguished members of the Senate, the report from the Joint Committee on Public Operations and Transport on the revamping of seaports in the country, offering 2 bills entitled An Act to Amend Chapter 6 of the Public Authorities Law creating the National Port Authority and to create Seaports Decentralization and Modernization Act and grant autonomy to the ports of Buchanan, Sando, and Harper, and an Act establishing the Seaports and Inland Ports Regulatory Authority. Mr. Presiding Officer.
Distinguished colleagues, you've listened to the reading of the report of the committee, the Joint Committee on Public Cooperation and Transport regarding the revamping of seaports in the country. Attached thereto 2 draft bills for consideration. What's your will and pleasure? Nobody got will and pleasure. Senator Abbott.
I move that the report, President thank the committee for the report, and I move that this report be received and open for discussion. And said discussion will not involve the merit of the 2 acts that have been attached.
It's been moved. And a second? It's been moved and seconded that the committee report be open for discussion. Void of the merit of the draft bill attached thereto.
Yes.
We deal with the committee report and exclude the draft bill.
Right.
And then in the end, a final decision to be made.
Right.
Are you ready to vote?
Ready?
All those in favor?
Yeah.
Debate open.
The bill?
Not a bill, debate on the committee report.
Thank you, Mr. Presiding and distinguished members of the Senate. During our retreat, or at the end of our retreat in Canada, few members of the Senate, or some members of the Senate, had the opportunity to visit Port of Buchanan. And on account of that visit, there was no communicated to this plenary making representation to the lack of marine services and as well as logistics at the Port of Buchanan. He also indicated in his communication that if Buchanan Port that is next to the Monrovia Port can be in such a dire situation, then it meant that both the ports in Harcourt and Sano were in even worse conditions. And as such, we requested plenary intervention to review the operations of these ports. As a consequence of that communication, the matter was referred to the Public Operations Committee to probe into the matter and revert to plenary. The committee got to work immediately and tried to engage with few of the stakeholders. We firstly spoke to the managing director of the National Port Authority, and he indicated to us, he gave us a report which indicated that these ports are part of the national port system of the country, and they are being administered by the National Port Authority. That these ports generate the following amounts: NPA approximately $2.8 million, Harcourt Port annually $2.8 million annually, Harcourt Port approximately $675,000, and then Sando Port similar amount. He indicated to us that as a result of low economic activities and population, these ports could not be independently operated. And that at all times, or as the country is in terms of low population, he indicated that in the region, Liberia is the least populated country. And as such, these ports should be operated as a port system, one port system in the country. We also had the opportunity to speak to the manager of the Port of Buchanan. And his presentation contrasted that which the managing director for NPA presented to us. He indicated that the Port of Buchanan is generating approximately $3 million annually. That they had a plan for modernizing the Port of Buchanan to include marine services, tugboat, modern continuum packing, dredging, and expansion of the commercial pier, training for employees to learn piloting of vessels, sailing in and out, and construction of mooring administration building. That High Power Exploration, SPS, has expressed vested interest in the modernization of the Buchanan Port. The Buchanan Port meets international ship and port security standard, ISPS, which is level 1. That the management is currently negotiating with FASO and LAC to import and export through the port of Buchanan. That the following companies are currently using the port of Buchanan: ArcelorMittal, importing general goods and exporting iron ore; Mara Gas and Gas, importing liquefied gas and petroleum; Yankee Wood Incorporated, exporting round log; Equatorial Palm Oil, EPO, exporting palm and canna oil; Westwater Group, exporting timber and round log; Capital Link, importing cement dust; Stella Incorporated, exporting round log; and YD, exporting round log. That the port of Buchanan currently has the following shipping lines: AGL, OPT, and AND, all of whom are engaged in vessel shipment. He indicated to us that if autonomy is granted to the Buchanan Port, Buchanan Port has the capacity to be an option to the Port of Monrovia. That with the high tariff here, port users would prefer to ship to Buchanan Port, and that will also contribute to the economic development of Grand Bassa County as well. We had the opportunity to also speak to Honorable Ernest Noah, current representative of Sano County and the former manager of Sano Port. Honorable Noah managed the port from 2018 to 2023, and on account of the experience, stated the following: that autonomy for all ports is best practice and will ensure the growth and development of the ports and their host communities. He indicated that while serving as port manager, he was sponsored by NPA to do training at the ports of Baltimore in Maryland, USA, and Tacoma, Washington State, USA. And all these ports are autonomous and that no port controls another. He also indicated that the management of those ports is heavily decided by the host communities, and that the ports immensely contribute to the growth and development of the host communities. That the outstation ports have from time to time been neglected by NPA and is mostly interested in the revenue generated by these ports. That NPA does not invest in these ports and grossly underpay employees. That during his 6-year tenure, no other NPA managing director visited Sano Port except for our Bill Travels. So we also spoke to some members of the different corporations from the Southeast, and those that we spoke to vouched for port autonomy of one of these ports, in line with the decentralization drive of our country. The committee, having thoroughly taken into consideration of all of the inputs from the stakeholders that we encountered, that we had conversation with, we thought it was expedient for us to submit this report along with the 2 draft legislations, which we want to crave your indulgence to refer to the Judiciary Committee for scrutiny and for subsequent report to this august body as a way forward in decentralizing some of the functions of our government. You know, our governance system is overly centralized. You know, sometimes I think, and I say, if it was possible to control nature, maybe toilets would have been built in Monrovia so that those in Sano, Maryland, can come to Monrovia toilet and go back. But nobody controls nature. Nobody controls. So I think that's the only reason for everything If you must be employed, you have to come to Monrovia to do your pen, but it's not action notice. And that's why over the years, even if you want to audit, you have to get a GSC from Monrovia to go to Sano to do personnel audit. The country is overly centralized. Once we continue along this path, development will continue to elude us, elude our people. Our people will never be empowered. The country has been built on a welfare mindset. That's why every morning for those of us who are legislators, people troop to us because of the welfare mindset. We must give. Someone must stretch hand to you before you survive. It is about time for us to endeavor to grant independence to our people. Yes, Liberia gained independence in 1847, but we've been colonized. Our mindset been colonized. The governance system colonized everything. We are not truly independent. Let's truly make this country independent. Even in the health sector, you want to employ people like employ in Monrovia. That's why people are employed on the health payroll, but they are in Monrovia. People are on education payroll, they are in Monrovia because you recruit them in Monrovia. I have a public high school in Wela, but nobody in Wela knows how many persons on the payroll or how many teachers, how many workers employed at that school by the government of the Republic of Liberia. At no point in time, the list for employees at the public institutions is published for people to know, for the PTA to know who are those that are employed there so that they will be monitored. Everything is in Monrovia. So this is a very good initiative of a presiding officer, distinguished police, so that we begin to create opportunities for our people. Think about it. If you generated $3 million in Grand Bassa, and you generated $1 million in Sando from the port, and another $1 million from Hapo, from the port, and the people who are there are being employed by the people. Their salary, their wages are being decided by the people who employ them there. And not by someone sitting in Monrovia deciding that let's pay everybody in Sando between 200 or 150 to 350, because that's what Ernest Noah told me. All of them, all of the employees, nobody is paid above 350, that's what he said. But people in Monrovia, someone maybe depending on how you are well dressed, depending on who recommends you, you'll be paid $3,000 to $4,000 United States dollars. So it is about time. I really want this Senate at this point in time to take key interest in decentralization. Yeah, I think we should do that. So, Honorable Presiding Distinguished Police, I submit if there's a need for verification, maybe I can come back. Thank you.
Senator Newman, of Grand Cook County. So those who want to participate in the debate, let us know so that we know how long we'll be on this particular matter. Yeah, so we can have a list. And we said that we can time it too. So at the discretion of the chair, we'll do 5 minutes each. We'll do 5 minutes each. And at the discretion of the chair, we'll yeah? 5 minutes too long? Okay, 2 minutes each. And at the discretion of the chair, we can extend it. It can even reach to 10. But 2 minutes will you fight?
Mr. President, thank you very much for this opportunity. First, I want to thank the committee. I want to thank the New Ways Committee for that splendid report, giving a clear picture of what is existing with our people. 2 of the ports are located in Southeast. Papua and Greenville. We talk about the level of intake because of their lack of capacity. There are some officials that they talk to. They talk about how depopulated the region is, given how constrained the economy of the region is. Presiding colleagues, I think Senator Nugwe has done justice to this issue. The strangulations of the ports in the region of Southeast is one of the reasons for underdevelopment in the region. In the region, you have about 11 major businesses. All of them are complaining for lack of port capacity to convey their goods. So in some instances, they can bring their produce to Monrovia before conveying them out of the country. DILLON is one of the major concessions in the region complain over and again why the port of Greenville cannot be expanded. Our colleague, Senator TJ, complained over and over about the top boat when there was an attempt to expand the port that they carried. How a clandestine can disappear. In the region, you have a GBL, you have the European logging, you have Hammerberg, you have another resource, you have Roddy logging, you have MOPP, Sika, Kavara rubber plantation. All of them are looking for a port capacity that will enable them to convey their goods out. I think the one that is saying only Greenville port should be looked at, that one is not fair to service. Colleagues, I think the proposal to disaggregate the ports to give each of them autonomy is very laudable, is the right direction. When they are given autonomy, they can be supported, expanded, given the appropriate capacity, those giving those businesses in those areas, those countries, the opportunity to convey the goods out that will create economic activities, huge employment for the people, revenue generation for the government. Instead of saying they should be like that, and therefore we will support that the ports should be given autonomy. Of course, the proposal is with the committee, or when it comes, we will plead with the Senate to get it this exact support. Let those ports be supported, let it be given autonomy, and they are supported by giving the necessary capacity, those expanding or giving the enabling opportunity environment for those businesses that are in the region, so the economic activities in the region can be expanded. Thank you very much, Mr. Alex.
Thank you. Senator Boston Chair, Sabo County. If I don't see any hand up, it means that we want to close on this debate.
Yeah, President.
Senator Boston Chair, our chair, followed by Senator.
I will not talk long because I'm a member of the committee and one of the proponents of the report. But I just want to add that what we try to do by this report is to provide a general proposition as to what we think or the direction we think we should go. But it is our opinion that this matter has implication for our representation in international bodies, the international maritime institutions, regarding regulations and what have you. And so our position, whether to proceed with this matter, will be informed, will be highly informed by consultations with maritime bodies, including the Liberia Maritime Authority and what have you, when we are considering the bill. After that, of course, then judiciary will make a report. So this is just for the purpose of looking into whatever perspective the committee has come up with. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator. How about you? You tell me very well. County, 36 cities.
Yeah, 30 correction 32. No, I will not be long.
Just to add my voice to the debate that Congress strongly support autonomy to the port of Ghana, the port of Liberian, and the port of Harper, and to not to amend, to include in the act that have been proposed how to amend Chapter 6 of the Public Authorities Law, creating National Port Authority, and to create seaports, decentralization and modernization act, and to grant autonomy to the ports of Ghana, Greenway, and Harper, and to add any other post that may be built thereafter. Otherwise, there, but just to include that in the title. Yeah, because there are plans, for example, to build some ports. It came out. And also, in Sano, besides the Greenway port, there have been studies concluded already that to the left of the Greenway port, to build another iron ore port, because the left there has deeper areas. And to also add that once you grant autonomy to any of the ports, that can help to attract private sector investment, because that port can partner with any investor to build more ports and to expand the ports. And I also suggest, because this process is still long, while we are working on the legislative process, it will discuss with the executive to issue an executive order to grant semi-autonomous status to the port of Ghana, port of Greenville, and the port of Harper. That would be my interpretation.
Why the election ongoing?
Right. Yeah, while the process is ongoing, we can ask the executive to do that and fast track it.
Thank you, Senator Chair. Senator Bosan Garfine, followed by Senator Thomas Yaya Nimlan, and then followed by Senator Amara Cohen, and then Jivon Smith or Lower County.
Thank you, presiding and distinguished colleagues. I hail from Grand Bassa County, where the port is. And the port of Ghana is now one of the ports. I know your people here know I English business. Let me thank the committee for the recommendation. And I also look forward to the discussion on the proposed bills, proposed amendment to the act creating the port authority. We have to start to look at creating jobs in the various counties and look at revenue that are generated in these counties that basically support Monrovia-based headquarters. We look forward to the port of Ghana being autonomous, but under certain conditions that revenue will stay in the cities and counties where these ports are. And I think it's something good that I would like to see what is in the bill and the amendment And then we can take it from there. But I think it's important that we start to decentralize revenue streams in Liberia. It's very important that we start that, and I think this will be the beginning of decentralizing revenue streams in the country. No longer can we sit and say everything is all right. Come to Monrovia, come to Monrovia, come to Monrovia. I think now it's time for us to start to say, let us stay where we are, let us develop where we are, so that our people can benefit. Mr. Chairman, Presiding Officer, let me thank the Chairman again for the member of the committee for the report, and look forward to seeing the amendment. Thank you.
Mr. Presiding, you say this is my help.
No, I never asked for you.
Senator, someone else, you mentioned, followed by Senator.
Presiding, thank you. I'd like to thank Senator Nukwe and all other speakers who have spoken. I keep asking myself, what happened to all the work that Dr. Amos Sawyer put into this whole decentralization program? 12 years. Amos Sawyer worked his butt out to make decentralization a program, a policy in Liberia. And these documents are lying somewhere, dusted up, and we are here talking about decentralization. What happened to the document? I thought by now, from Ellen Johnson Sirleaf's administration up to President Weah and now to President Boakai, that these processes should have been implemented gradually, where we would have achieved at least 50% decentralization in this country. I'm from Grand Jide, and three of the sister counties, Rambasa from the south, Sano and Maryland from the southeast, as well as Grand Jide. People always say that we are in the boondocks in the Netherlands. That's why they come up for you. So they are from the Netherlands. But in the Netherlands, there is life. We need life. Let us not keep talking about decentralization. Let us implement decentralization. It's about time, and that time is overdue. Thank you.
Senator Amala Point, followed by Senator Daba Babala, and then Senator Gifford Smith.
Thank you very much, Mr. Presiding. Let me join other colleagues in thanking Senator Nukwe and the committee for this report. I come from the landlocked county, Buffalo, but I want to approach this debate from an economic standpoint. I think it's a good idea. I would like to caution us as we proceed to be careful as we liberate ourselves and our country from quote-unquote colonial mentality that Senator Nukwe put it, end quote. Let us also be mindful that as we push for autonomy, we should not make the autonomy about the enclave nature of our economy. It should not be about the ArcelorMittal, the HPX, the forestry, and so on and so forth. Because since the founding of our country, these sectors have driven our economy up to this minute. Let us be visionary as we do this. The areas we're talking about, to be specific, the second largest port of Buchanan, there you have a people, you have the regional electricity passing through there, you have the rails connecting the port all the way to Yekipa. We have to think about how that port can go beyond the iron ore that the HPX and others will be shipping out, to utilize the electricity to attract manufacturing so that we can export as well. I just wanted to lend that voice to the conversation as we debate internally. Let's start to think about how the port can be serviceable to other sectors outside of the enclave sector. Thank you.
Senator Fabella of Grandkid by Compton, followed by Devon Smith. I think that was close by one motion.
Thank you very much. Let me say thank you to the to Senator Nupo's committee for a very good job. I was one of the senators, the joint committee.
Committee on Transport and
I was also part of the senators that visited the port in Buchanan, and the potential there is very visible. There's a huge land space that needs development. I believe if they are granted the autonomy, already looking at the performance, funding wise, if they are granted the autonomy and they develop that port to its full potential, it will support the Macaulay Senator Dimna talk about the decentralization. Most of the time these acts are passed and we don't take steps to make sure that they become effective. So if the port is granted that autonomy, it will support decentralization, it will reduce the human and vehicular traffic that we experience from the MPA. It will also, I believe, lower the cost of goods, because if we divert some of the vessels that bring in commodities and they go to those ports, you would not need long tankers leaving for them to go all the way to Southeast to go and deliver goods. People will just access their goods very shortly. It will also support job creation in the rural counties, because they will need more manpower and the rest of it. It will transfer new skills and will give learning opportunity. So I support the autonomy, and of course, Senator Che rightly said, new ports should also be included, because we're looking forward to having one port in Grand Cape this month, and we want to enjoy the autonomy. So those that are drafting it back, please consider that. Thank you.
Senator Devon Smith, Rosas, and then we hear from Senator Joe Trouble for Rosas on the expertise from MPA.
Mr. President, distinguished senators, briefly, I heard about this proposed legislation. I read it, but privileged to be in a meeting yesterday. I'm anxious to support it 100%. Yesterday, upon the request of the senators from the Southeast, we had in audience the management of Eurologging. And the man made a standing revelation that we cannot afford to be running at a standstill. We say we're running, but we're not moving. The man told us that more than 5 years, Senator, more than 5 years he brought or saw mill factory equipment, the whole factory, more than $1.5 million US in the country. They sit in Ghana. They cannot operate because the port of Greenville that he's supposed to be using does not have the capacity, no equipment, nothing there. And so they cannot install the factory that will even employ, according to him, up to 500 Liberians. Simply because everything in the country, everything around the country should be centered in Monrovia. When Monrovia gives us clean bill of sheet, then we go and implement. When Monrovia is not ready yet, the port of Greenville is sitting. This man with the potential of his fabric is sitting. He cannot install it for Liberians to be rushing there, to be working to get an income. And so I support this particular reform 100%. Thank you very much.
We'll close up with Senator Bill Trouble.
Allow me to be seated. The presiding distinguished colleagues, I'm a member of the committee and part of our expert opinion was offered, and we support the autonomy to be given to the bureau posts. We don't want it to only be those 3 posts. There are prospects for a post in Kidmore, and there is a prospect for a post in Nima County. While I was managing director, the inland post, we went Guinea, Africans, and spoke to them. Some of them, their posts are far from where the various companies are, and they are actually waiting for a port in Nima County. So when we are doing our final draft, that include the inland port in Nima County. We bought it. Okay. Okay, the inland port in Nima County, we have done the purchase, we pay for the crops. The government. The government.
I thought you said
government. Eh?
You're talking about the state report.
Like the government, about the government.
Okay.
So we have to pick up from there. And there will be a cargo. ABN terminal will be fighting you. They will be undermining the process because they don't want competition. So we should expect that when Firestone and LAC and other people are exporting their goods in Ghana, that will not be the case. They will lose revenue. So as we go through, we will be prepared for the battle. The battle that other people will be fighting you politically, financially, to make sure that it does not happen. I thank you as a mate.
Speaking your experience.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, colleague. I think the debate informed us as to how to proceed. So we'll get a motion so that this report can be endorsed and that the subsequent bills be referred to the committees on judiciary and maritime. Public corporation. After you didn't a report now, you still want okay, we get a motion. Before we get a motion, I think Senator, our chair made us striking point 2 to display and demonstrate the seriousness of the Senate regarding this matter. If the motion can also include that we'll refer, seek the intervention of the executive, the president, on an executive order in the interim while the legislative consideration is being taken. Can we get a motion? Senator Batikwa. Senator Philly wanted to make a motion. No port in Grand Crew. So that
Distinguished, presiding distinguished colleagues, I move that the report just discussed be received, adopted, and the recommendation therein be enforced and executed, and that said bill be sent to the relevant committees. Thank you.
No, relevant committee, not committee.
Okay. The Committee on Transport, Public Operations, Maritime, and Judiciary, as well as autonomous agencies.
No, public corporation.
Public corporation, because we're taking them now from public corporation to autonomous. So, and that the Senate recommend executive ask the executive to grant temporary executive privileges. Yeah, but I know what the recommendation. But I'm saying adopt the recommendation. I need that recommendation. So I don't need to mention it. It's not ready. Oh, okay. So that also communicates with the executive on an executive order authorizing the autonomy of the three courts: the Court of Buchanan, the Court of Sino, and the Court of Maryland.
So, what is the one agenda? That motion then put it back into perspective and make sure. Okay. It has been moved and seconded that the committee report be received, endorsed, and that the bills be referred to the committees on judiciary, maritime, transport, and autonomous commission. Public corporation, that was made. Our rules changing in terms of. And that the executive be communicated with for action toward issuance of an executive order in the interim while the legislative action is being considered. Are you ready to vote?
I'm ready.
Senator DILLON Smith.
Thank you. I will be ready to vote if we can just restrict the motion to what is in to me as a Senate, instead of recommending to the executive to issue executive order.
Movement.
I reject because I said request. Okay.
Any order of readiness? With no order of readiness, are we ready to vote? I said, are you ready to vote? All in favor, say again. The motion is carried. Secretary of the Senate, please take note at the morning. Next item on the agenda. Don't forget, Foreign Affairs Committee, 3 o'clock and 4 o'clock, confirmation here.
Report from Standing Committee. Report from the Joint Committee comprising Education and Public Administration, Judiciary, Human Rights Claims and Petitions, and Ways, Means, Finance and Budget on, quote, an act to repeal the 2012 Act creating a Harvard College and to establish in lieu thereof Margibi University and grant it a charter.
Was that report circulated?
Yes, sir.
Findings and recommendation.
Conclusion and recommendation. The Senate Joint Committee indeed conducted a thorough assessment and due diligence as per the mandate of the Senate plenary and observed that the request of the people of Margibi through the Honorable House of Representatives is appropriate, justifiable, and widely supported by the majority of the stakeholders of the county, including the county legislative caucus. The request further meets the Senate required fiscal assessment benchmarks in that it has what it needs to be established as a university. Recommendation. In view of the above, the Senate Joint Committee on Education and Public Administration and Judicial Human Rights Claims and Petitions here we recommend to the plenary of the Liberian Senate that the request for the creation of the Margibi University be endorsed, thus concurring with the Honorable House of Representatives for the passage of this bill during the committee room and signed by members of the committee. For the bill entitled An Act to Repeal the 2012 Act creating a Harvard College and to establish in lieu thereof Margibi University and grant it a charter. Mr. Presiding Officer.
You, distinguished police, you listened to the report from the Joint Committee comprising Education and Public Administration, Judiciary, Human Rights Claims and Petitions, and Ways, Means, Finance and Budget on an act to repeal the 2012 Act creating the Adult College and to establish in lieu thereof McGill University and to grant it chapter. What's your will and pleasure? Senator Weston Garfield is our master.
Distinguished presiding and distinguished colleague, if I can obtain a second, I move that this report be adopted and recommendation therein grant the people of Marquette County a full-fledged university.
It has been moved and seconded that the report from the Joint Committee as was read on an act to repeal the term creating the Adult University and to establish in lieu thereof the McGill University and to grant a chapter. That report be received, endorsed, and the appropriate vote taken. Meaning to concur with the House of Representatives. Are we ready to vote? Are we ready to vote? We are voting on the record.
Yes.
We are voting on the record so that tomorrow nobody can say there's nobody in the president. That was the my They vote on the record. Come, everybody can give a comment on the record.
We want to see whether you will not support my
To be independent or
and that your seat middle.
Yes. Vote on the record.
And your seat middle.
Senator Sarah Halley Joseph, Moscow County.
I vote yes.
Rana Bassa County. Senator Bessengar M. Finley.
I vote yes.
Sano County, Senator Councilor Augustine S.E. Senator Peter.
Oh, are there?
Senator Quinton O. Duncan, Sano County. Senator J. Bravo Brown, Maryland County. Senator James P. Banning, Maryland County. Senator Simeon Boyma Taylor Grant, Cape Mon County. Senator Dava M. Vapla, Grand Cape Mon County.
Yes.
Senator Prince Kiamomoyi, Bon County. Senator Johnny K. Behe, Bon County. Nima County, Senator Prince Ward Johnson.
I vote yes.
Senator Nyan D. Twain Jr. Grand Julia County, Senator Zoe Emmanuel Penum.
I vote yes.
Senator Thomas Yaya Neiman. Luffa County, Senator Councilor Joseph K. Jala. Senator Momoti Saros. Wyoming County, Senator Eddie M. Snow, Jr. Senator Alex Jenikai Tyler. Margibi County. Senator Attorney Emmanuel James Lukwe.
Oh, yes.
Senator Nathaniel Falo Magere.
Yes.
Riverside County. Senator Wellington Devon Smith.
Yes.
Senator Bill Tier Query.
Yes.
Grand Prairie County. Senator Albert Tubekie. Senator Dominic H. Batukwa.
I vote yes.
River G County. Senator Jonathan Bodkar Sobi. Senator Francis Sedi Dopo II. Babur County. Senator Otto Cannon. Senator Amara M. Ponen. Mr. Presiding Officer and distinguished members of the Senate. There are 18 votes in favor, which makes it unanimous, and none against, no abstention.
With 18 votes, no abstention, and no, the vote is unanimous, is carried. Magini is now in the president. Please take the appropriate action and send it in roll in bill to the executive.
Thank you.
Action.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations. We don't want to do that.
So before we get to AOB on the transitional bill, I want to make a clarity. The issue that has to do with respect and laptop, the communication signed by Senator Amara Conan and myself, that issue was referred to the Committee on Executive. Can we get an update? Because the chair is not here, the co-chair said it was open up.
Mr. President, District Police.
Yeah, but I was smart.
Presiding District Police, when you send a communication to the Committee on Executive, I wish that all the country, I'm going to show you some on back. Give her 2 weeks, we'll report to plenary in 2 weeks. I was not here. I was not here.
So, but you are not a committee.
That's what I'm saying. And now I'm the acting chair. So I think my chairman.
With the support of plenary, we would like to include the committee on NASCO.
Okay.
Yeah. Committee.
Yeah, committee. That's open a committee. That's called a
with the endorsement of plenary.
Thank you.
Are we okay with that?
Yes. Yeah, that's all.
Committee on please. Now listen. The committee on executive and the committee on security will report to plenary within 2 weeks.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Within 2 weeks. So within 2 weeks, we also include the committee.
Okay.
Within 2 weeks.
Yes.
Including the committee.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Senator, the Senate. What's the next thing? I think that's the last option.
The usage of the VIP.
Yes, they include the commissioner. Senator, yeah, that's what we're talking about. Confirmation? We got confirmation here? Confirmation?
No.
We don't have anything.
It was deferred.
No, it was deferred.
The other issue on the part Ways and Means on my complaint.
The Ways and Means question. So So, Senator Corner, you said a bill.
Yes, Mr. President, this is just, I think it's really short, and the update is that it's been forwarded to be on the agenda for discussion for debate. I'm just begging your indulgence to see if we can include it on the agenda for Thursday. The issue here, if I can be quick, every time our former President George Weah passes through our IA, there is some fracas. It does not reflect well on us as a country that whenever a former leader is going through the airport, his partisans and law enforcement officers are always butting heads. It's a reputational issue for our democracy, and I think we need to end it here with a law to show respect for our former leaders. All of us here will be former leaders someday. So I'm begging your indulgence, and the indulgence of plenary, that we resolve this issue as quickly as possible.
Second.
Senator Chair, can you come present so I can debate the issue?
Just we'll talk about it.
So we said no, it's not debate. And what informational. So I think the report is ready. We'll conclude it so that we get agenda for Thursday. The next item is Ways and Means speaker briefing on Senator McGill's concern about finance minister. On the borrowing. Since Senator Quinn Moore is not here, Senator Brennan can
Regarding this matter has been referred to the chairman on several occasions, and the chairman was trying to get the Minister of Finance, who is now the former Minister of Finance, to come in to give us a briefing on why the Ministry of Finance is in the business of granting public corporations guaranteed for borrowing. That was the issue that was raised by Senator McGill, and we have not been able to get the minister in. Now that we have an acting minister, I'm sure that I don't know when the chairman is returning, but I have the co-chairman. I'm third in line on this committee. So I will be discussing with the co-chair today to see if we can get the Minister of Finance to give us reason, an explanation on that, because it is a legislative function to grant the guarantee borrowing and loans, which was not in the budget. And I think that was Minister McGill, Senator McGill's issue, that during the budget process, there was no where in that budget where certain amount for public corporations guaranteed or passed in the budget process. So please, I know Senator McGill always say, I gave excuse, but I'm third in line on that committee, and the chairman isn't here, co-chair isn't here, and please give us Thursday. This time around, I'm sure we have a report for
Thank you, Thursday. Take note of that. With nothing else on the agenda, can we have a motion to adjourn? 3 o'clock, members of the Foreign Affairs Committee meeting with the Minister of Foreign Affairs in our conference room office. 4 p.m. today in the chamber, there will be confirmation here for Deputy Minister, the Assistant Minister, the Minister of Information. Thank you. That's my